Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about fractions. We have already done one video on fractions, but this one is a bit intermediate level. So in the last video, I have already told you what is mean by fraction, how they look, how to solve some simple problems related to fractions. But in this video particularly, I am going to tell you some concepts which are necessary to solve any problem related to fraction. So let's get started. So first, I will be going to do a quick recall which we have done in the last video. First thing, any fraction. Okay. So fraction look like this. P by Q, where P is a number, where P is a number and Q is another number. So a fraction is, one example, 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 2 by 5, 5 by 4. These are the examples of fraction. And what does it mean? What is mean by 1 by 2? It is like you have a whole thing and here you are just talking about half of the whole thing. So this is half of the whole thing, or one. So, or just consider it. So we are talking about 1 by 2. Suppose you have a box. Okay. You have a box. You divide it into two parts. Okay. So this denominator. So this number on the line is known as numerator. This number below the line is known as denominator. So you have a whole box. You divide it into two pieces and 1 by 2 represents one of the pieces. So this part is 1 by 2 of the whole thing. Similarly, if we talk about this thing, again, let us consider a box. So denominator is 3. So divide this box into 3 pieces. And now we are talking about 2 out of 3 pieces. So this 2 by 3 means 2 pieces we are interested in. This and this. So this shaded region is 2 by 3. Is that clear? All these things we have talked in detail in our last video. Now, similarly, we have talked about how to add them up. So let me write here. So P is the numerator, Q is the denominator. Okay. We call in the fraction P by Q, P is numerator, Q is denominator. This terminology I may use while solving some problem. So that is why I'm just giving you a quick recall. So let's say you have two fractions. So suppose P1 upon Q1 and P2 upon Q2 are two fractions. Okay. Now, how do we multiply two fractions? So P1 upon Q1 into, P2 upon Q2. Multiplication is same as P1 into P2, Q1 into Q2. Okay. This is the multiplication. Now division. How do we do? P1 upon Q1 divided by P2 upon Q2. And this is same as P1 upon Q1 into Q2 upon P2. So you just have to reverse it. So make denominator as numerator, numerator as denominator, and multiply it. So this is equal to P2 into Q2 upon Q1 into P2. So how to multiply them? Numerator into numerator, denominator into denominator. That is the simple rule of multiplication while we deal with fraction. And how do we divide them? So let's say you want to divide P1 Q1 by P2 Q2. You just swap it. So you just replace this divide wala sign with multiplication and Q2 upon P2 U2. Now you know how to do multiplication while dealing with fractions. These are the simple rule. But how to add them up and how to subtract them up? So that we will see today in detail. But how to do P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2? This we will see in today's video. Similarly, how to do P1 Q1 minus P2 Q2? That we will learn in detail in today's video. These are the objectives of today's video. So these two things in detail we are going to see today. We have already talked a bit about addition and subtraction in the last video. So understanding concept like least common multiple, which is also known as LCM, is crucial for confidently working with fractions. Now, first thing is, what is mean by least common divisor or least common multiple? So, the least common multiple of two or more numbers is the smallest positive integer that is a multiple of all the numbers. What does it mean? So, let's see one example so that this concept is clear for you. So let's say you want to calculate LCM. LCM is the short form of least common multiple. Let's say we are interested in calculating LCM for 4 and 6. So what is the rule? First rule is just write down all the multiple of 4. Multiple of 4 means all number which are divisible by 4. Okay, so 4. So here let me write x is a multiple of 2 if x upon 2 is equal to an integer. So x can be 2, x can be 4, 6, 8, 12, 16. Why? Because 2 upon 2 is 1, 4 upon 2 is 2, 6 upon 2 is, you know that 6 is divisible by 2 because 2 3s are 6. Similarly, 8 is divisible by 2 because it is equal to 4. Similarly, 16 by 2 is 8. Right? 2 into 8 is 16. So, these are the multiples of 2. Similarly, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, etc. Then 28, then 32. These are the multiple of 4. Similarly, since we want to calculate least common multiple of 4 and 6. So as name suggested, least common multiple. So you just write down all the multiple of 4, all the multiple of 6, and then look for the least common multiple. So 6 ke multiples are 6, 12, 18, 24 and 30. Then 36, 42, etc. Now you can see that common multiples are 2, 12, right? Which is sitting in both of them. 24 is other common multiple, right? So these are the common multiple. And again 36. 36 is divisible by 4 as well as So 36 is also one common multiple, right? But here we are interested in least common multiple, means the smallest one. So the common multiples are 12, 4, 24 and 36, etc. The smallest common multiple is 12. So LCM of 4 and 6 is 12. Is that okay? So you just write multiple of 4, multiple of 6 and look for the smallest one. And that smallest one is the LCM of the numbers. Let's see other method. Next method, second method is find the prime factorization of each of the number. So what does it mean? Let me do this problem and so that it will be clear for you. Now let's say you want to calculate LCM of 12 and 18. So you know how to divide two numbers, right? There is a sign of division. So let's say you want to divide 18 by 12. So that is how we write it. In the similar fashion, how do we compute LCM of two number? So we use this sign. Okay, this sign. You write inside both the number separated by comma. Okay, 12 and 18. And now you just see which number, which smallest number can divide both 12 and 18. So you just have to figure out which smallest number can divide both 12 as well as 18. So you know that 2 can divide both. 2 can divide 12, 2 can divide 18, right? So if you divide 2 by 12, what will you get? So just divide it. 12 and 2. You know that 6 times it is 12. Khatam. Right? So you will write 6 over here. Similarly, divide 18 by 2. And it is 9 times is 18. So you will write 9 over here. So this number you have to write in the second line, right? So 6 and 9 you have to write over here. Now again, you have to look for a common number. You have to look for a number which can divide 6, 9 or one of them. Again, you can take 2, right? So 2 can divide 6. So if you divide 6 by 2, so 2 3s are 6. So 3 will come. But 9 will be as it is because 9 is not a multiple of 2. Is that fine? Now you just have to see which is the smallest number which can divide 3, 9 or both. So 3 is the one. So 3 say if you divide 3, you will get 1. 3 say if you divide 9, you will get 3. Now again, you can again choose 3. So 3 with 1, it is as it is 1, but it is 1. So you have to keep on doing this process until you get 1, 1 at both the places. And now what is the LCM? LCM of 12 and 18 is equal to 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. So 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 is equal to 36. That is how you have to do it. Let's see one more problem so that this method is clear. Let's say find LCM of, let's say, 5, 12 and maybe 21. So you want to find LCM for 3 numbers. What is the rule? Write this sign. Write these numbers inside 5, 12, 21. So look for one integer which can divide one of them. So 5 you start with. So 5 say 5 will be divided in 1 times. 12 as it is. 21 as it is, right? Because 21 is not a divisor of 5. Again, now you have 1, 12 and 21. Just look for any number which can divide one of them or all of them. Okay. So you know that 3 say you can divide 12. So 1 will be as it is. So once you reach at 1, you don't need to change anything. 1 will be as it is. So 3 and 12, you will have 4 because 3 and 4 is 12. 3 is into 4 is 12. So if you divide 12 by 3, you will get 4. Similarly, you know that 21 is divisible by 3. So if you divide 21 by 3, you will get 7. Now, next line may you have 1, 4 and 7. So again, you have to look for a smallest integer which can divide one of them or both of them. You know that 2 can divide 4. Forget about 7. So 1. So if you divide 4 by 2, you will get 2. 7 as it is because 7 is not a multiple of 2. Again, you have 2 and 7. Look for any integer which can divide one of them. So 2 say you can divide 2. So 1, 1, 7. Now in the next line you have 1, 1, but 1, 7 is also there. So you have to look for any smallest integer which can divide 7. So 7 is divisible by 7 itself. So you have to use 7. So if you do that, you will have 1, 1 and 1. All 1 means done. So you have to keep on doing this process until you have all ones. So LCM of 5, 12, 21. Sorry, 5, 12 and 21 is equal to multiply all these numbers. So they are 5 into 3 into 2 into 2 into 7. So this you have to multiply. So 5 into 2 is 10. 10 into 2 is 20 into 7 into 3 is 21. So it is 420. So LCM is 420. Is that fine? So we will solve some more problems so that this is clear. This is important. I will tell you why we are discussing LCM in the topic of fraction. We will see that. Now, problems on LCM. So some basic problem. Find the LCM of 8, 12 and 15. Rule is the same. Write down this sign. Write down these numbers inside 8, 12 and 15. Start with any number which can divide one of them. You know that 2 can divide 8. So start with 2. So if you divide 8 by 2, what will you get? 4. You know that 12 is also a multiple of 2. So if you divide 12 by 2, you will get 6, right? 15 is not a multiple of 2. So 15 you write as it is. You don't need to change anything. Now again you have 3 numbers, 4, 6, 15. Look for any number which can divide any of these. You know that 2 can divide 4. So write 2. Okay. So 2. So 4 if you divide by 2, you will get 2. 6 again is divisible by 2. You will get 3. 15 again is not a multiple of 2. So 15 you write as it is. Again you have 2, 3, 15. Now again look for a smallest number which can divide one of them. So 2. 2 can divide 2. This is the only number which can divide 2 because you have to land at 1. So if you divide 2 by 2, you will have 1. You don't need to do anything in this column. 3 as it is, 15 as it is because 2 cannot divide 3 or 15. Now you have two numbers 3 and 15 which are not 1. So again you have to look for a number which can divide one of them. So 3 is one number which can divide 3. 3 is the only number which can divide 3. So 1 is as it is. 3 becomes 1 and you know that 15 is a multiple of 3. You will have 5 here. Again you have 1, 1 but 1, 5. You have to eliminate this also. So you have to look for any number which can divide 5. 5 is the only number which can divide 5. So 5 you write 1, 1, 1. You are done. So LCM of 8, 12 and 15 is equal to multiply all these numbers which are written over here. So that is 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 5. Multiply them up. So 5 into 2 is 10 into 2 into, so 5 into 2 is 10. 2 into 2 is 4 and 3 as it is. So 4 into 3 is 12. So it is 120. So 120 is B. So option B is correct. Is the example clear? Is the question clear? So you please practice. Keep on doing it. So it is not very difficult. It's very simple. You have to look for smallest number which can divide one of the number. Okay. Next, simplify the fraction 42 and 56 to its lowest term. So you just have to simplify it. This type of problems we have discussed in our last video. So 42 upon 56. Again, you have to look for the smallest number which can divide both. Here you have to see a number which can divide both. You can see that 2 can divide 42 and 2 can also divide 56. So divide and see. So 42 you write over here. 2 say if you divide, you will get 2. So 4. Sorry. So 4 upon nothing and write 2 over here. So this is 0. And again it will be 1. So 2 you will get 0. So 21. Similarly 56 if you divide with 2. So 2 2s are 4. You will have 1 and 6. 2 8s are 16. That's all. That is how we divide. So it is 28. So 21 and 28. Again, you have to look for any number which can divide both. I think 3 can divide both. No, 3 also cannot divide both. So now you don't have any number which can divide both. So this is the smallest number you can, which is equivalent to 42 and 56. So C is the correct option. Here you have to look for the common number which can divide both and keep on doing that. That is how we simplify a fraction. Next problem. Evaluate 5 by 6 and 3 by 8. As I told you in this video, we will actually learn how to evaluate this addition. So 5 by 6 plus 3 by 8. I know that if you want to add or subtract two fraction, first rule is you have to find out a common denominator, 6 and 8. So take the LCM. So find out LCM of 6 and 8. Calculate this LCM. How do we do this? 6 and 8 you write here. Now look for a number which can divide one of them. So you know that 2 can divide 6 in 3 times. 2 can also divide 8 in 4 times, right? Again, look for a smallest number. Let me write this 3 again in a better way. So now you have to look for any number which can divide 3 or 4. You know that 3 can divide by 3. You will have 1, but 3 is not a multiple of or divisor of 4. So 4 will be as it is. Again, you have to look for smallest number which can divide 4. Here you have 1. You don't need to worry about anything. So 2. So 1 and 2. Again, here you have a number which is not 1. So again, you have to keep on doing it. 1, 1. Now you are done. So LCM of 6 and 8 is 3 into 2 into 2. 2. So what will you get? 3 into 2 is 6. 2 into 2 is 4. 6 4s are 64. This is the LCM. Now what you will do? This is equal to. So you have to somehow convert this 6 into 64. So you have to multiply with what so that it becomes 64. So you just multiply numerator and denominator by 4. 6 into 4 is 64. Plus you have to multiply this 8 by something so that it becomes 64. 8 with 8 is, 6 into 4 is not. Oh, this is 24. 6 4s are 24. It is just 24. So you have to multiply 6 with something so that it becomes 24. So how do we add two fractions? To add two fractions, you have to look for common denominator. So the common denominator is the LCM of these two denominator. That is the rule. So you have to multiply this fraction with something so that denominator is the LCM. So you just multiply both by 4. So 8 3 ja, right? 8 3 ja. So you know that this into this is 8. So 8 into 3 is also 24. So 6 into 4 is 24. 8 into 3 is also 24. So you multiply numerator and denominator by 3 because that does not this and this are the same. If you multiply and divide by same number, your fraction does not change. So now this is equal to 5 into 4 is 20 upon 64 plus 9 upon 24. Sorry, not 64. I don't know why I'm keep on writing 64. Now this is equal to 20 plus 9 upon 24, and that is equal to 29 upon 24. So this is the correct answer, right? So similarly, this one is 1. Let's do one more problem. Let me ask you multiply 1 by compute 1 by 5, 2 by 3 and 5 by 6. How will you do this? Again, look at the denominator 5, 3 and 6. First rule is calculate the LCM. LCM of 5, 3 and 6. Okay? Calculate the LCM of 5, 6 and 3. So how will you calculate the LCM? Same rule. Write these numbers inside. 5, 3, 6. Look for a smallest number which can divide one of them. You know that 5 is divisible by 5 only. So 5, say if you divide 5, you will get 1. But 3 is not a multiple of 5. So 3 will be as it is, 6 will be as it is. Now you have two numbers which are not 1. So 3 and 6. Look for a number which can divide one of them. You know that 3 can divide 3. 1 will be as it is. 3 say if you divide 3, you will get 1. 3 say 6 is a multiple of 3. So you will get 2 over here. Now at two places you have 1, 1. But here you have a number which is not 1. So you have to make this 1. So what is the smallest number which can divide 2? 2 is the smallest number. Now you have 1, 1, 1 at all three places. So LCM will be 5 into 3 into 2. So what is this? So it is 5 into 6 and that is nothing but, so 3 into 2 is 6. It is 30. Now what is the rule? You have to somehow make the denominator same and that is equal to 30. So now 1 by 5 you can write it as 5 into 6 is 30 na? So 5 into 6, 1 into 6, both are the same. So it is same as 6 by 30. Similarly, 2 by 3, you can write it as, so what you have to multiply to make it 30? 10. So 2 into 10. Your focus should be denominator is equal to 30. So it is 20 upon 30. Similarly, next one. 5 by 6 is equal to what you have to multiply in 6 so that it becomes 30. 6 into 5. So 6, say you multiply with 5 so that it is 30. 5 into 5. So that is equal to 25 upon 30. Now you add them up. So 1 upon 5 plus 2 upon 3 plus 5 upon 6 is same as, see, 1 upon 5 is same as 6 upon 30, right? 6 upon 30 plus 2 by 3 is same as 20 by 30, right? Write it down. 20 by 30 plus 5 by 6 is same as 25 upon 30. 25 upon 30. Now this is equal to common denominator is 30. Just write the numerator above. 6 plus 20 plus 25. What will you get? So addition will be 6 and 20 is 26 plus 25 upon 30 and that is equal to 51 upon 30. So that is how you add fractions. To add fractions, when denominator is not equal, you take LCM first, make the denominator equal appropriately, and then you do the addition. Similarly, you have to do the multiplication. So first, you have to make the denominator equal. Now, next problem. The sum of two fractions is 11 by 12. If one of the fraction is 1 by 4, what is the other fraction? So, see, two fractions, sum of two fractions is 11 by 12. So, let's say one fraction is P1 by Q1, 1 upon, and one of the fraction is 1 by 4. So, instead of P1 upon Q1, let me write X. So, X plus 1 by 4 is equal to 11 by 12. So this is one fraction. So two fraction, this is 4. Sum of two fraction is 11 by 12. One is 1 by 4. You have to calculate the other one. So X will equal to, take this 1 by 4 on the other side. So 11 by 12. If you take this on other side, it becomes minus 1 by 4. So you have to calculate this subtraction. What is the rule? So denominator are not the same. Compute the LCM. First rule is LCM of 12 and 4. How do we compute LCM? So same rule, 12 and 4. Look at any smallest number which can divide one of the number. 2 is one of them. So if you divide 12 by 2, you will get 6. If you divide 4 by 2, you will get 2. Right? Again, you have to look for any number which can divide 6 or 2. So you know that 2 is one of them. So if you divide 6 by 2, you will get 3. If you divide 2 by 2, you will get 1. So 1 is 1, other is 3. So 3 is the only number which can divide 3. So 1, 1. So LCM of these two is 2 into 2 into 3. And that is equal to 4 into 3. And that is equal to 12. So LCM is 12. Now, 1 is already 12. You don't need to do anything. So, but other one, you don't have 12. So, 1 by 4, you have to convert it something like 12 by something. So, 4 may, if you multiply with 3, you will get 12. So, similarly, you have to multiply 1 also by 3. So, same number, if you divide and multiply, fraction does not change. So, it is 3 by 12. Right? So, now, X is equal to 11 by 12 minus 3 by 12. So common denominator, you write it 12, and now you can add and subtract numerator simply. So 11 minus 3 is 8 by 12. But now you can simplify it further. Or okay, 8 by 12 is sitting over here. So this is the first correct answer. You don't need to simplify it. Otherwise, you could have simplified it further. So 8 and 12. So 4 is the number which can divide both. So it is 2 by 3 or something. Okay, so 8 by 12. So option A is correct. But here, if you observe closely, two options are correct. Because you know that 8 and 12, both you can divide by 2. So it becomes 2, 4 by 6. Again, 4 and 6 can be divided by 2 again. So it becomes 1, okay, 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 is also sitting over here. So 8 by 12 and 2 by 3 both are correct options. Next problem. If the product of two fractions is 16 by 35 and one of the fractions is 8 by 5. Find the other fraction. So product of two. Let's say X is one of the fraction. Let X is one of the fractions. What they are saying, product of two fractions is 16 by 35. One of the fraction is 8 by 5. So 8 by 5 into X. Actually, X is one of the fraction is equal to 16 by 35. You have to calculate the value of X. So X is equal to 16 by 35 divided by 8 by 35, right? So here it is multiplication. So if you take this number to this side, it becomes division. So you know that how to divide two fractions. This is equal to 16 by 35 multiply with the swap. You just swap numerator and denominator. It becomes 5 by 8, right? And now you know that how to do multiplication. Multiplication is pretty simple. So it is 16 into 5 upon 35 into 8, right? You just multiply, or you can simplify also. You know that 5 and 35 you can divide. So 5, say if you divide 35, it becomes 7. So it is 16 by 7 into 8. And you know that 4 can divide 8 as well as 16. So if you divide 8 by 4, you will get 2. Similarly, becomes 4. And again, you can divide 2 and 4, you will get 2. So it is 2 by 7. So most simplified form is 2 by 7. So 2 by 7 is the correct option. So what we did, simply just assume that the other fraction is x, and x into 8 by 5 is 16 by 35. So x will equal to, you just take this 8 by 5 that side. Here it is multiplication. This side it becomes division. And division may, what you do, you just swap numerator and denominator and then simplify it. Next problem, intermediate level problems on fraction. Now here you just have to pay attention a bit more. You have to pay attention to these problems. So what they say, a tank is 3 by 4 full of water. Okay. So tank is 3 by 4 full of water. When 30 liter of water are drawn out, the tank becomes 7 by 16 full. What is the capacity of the tank? So initially, let's say capacity is X. So assume that capacity of the tank is X liters. Okay. So now what they are saying, tank is 3 by 4 full. So that means initially 3 by 4 of X full. 3 by 4 of X is full. Now when 30 liters of water are drawn out, the tank becomes 7 by 16 full. So initially there was 3 by 4 full water, right? Tank is 3 by 4 full of water, and then you are removing 30 liters. So minus 30 liter if you do, the remaining is 7 by 16 of X. Just see if it is fine. So initially you have 3 by 4 of X water in your tank. Now you have removed 30 liter and remaining is 7 by 16 X. Now you just simply solve it for X. Now take X on one side. So I can write this equation as 3 by 4x minus 7 by 16x is equal to 30. You can take this side, is equal to 30. So now you see that 4 and 16, you have to subtract two fractions which are not equal. Here denominator are not equal. So first thing you have to do is you have to compute LCM. So LCM of 4 and 16. Just do the LCM, same rule, 4 and 16. You have to look for smallest number which can divide 4 or 16. So it is 2. It becomes 2 and 8. Again 2 and 8, you have to look for a number which can divide one of them. That is 2 becomes 1. It becomes 4. Again 2, say you can divide 4, 1 and 2. 2, 1 and 1. Done. So LCM of 4 and 16 is 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So it is 4 into 4 and that is equal to 16. 16 is the LCM. Now 3 by 4, if you observe, 3 by 4 is same as if I multiply numerator and denominator by 4. So it is by 4. So it is 12 by 16, because to subtract or add two fractions, you need denominator to be equal, and that equal denominator is same as the LCM of the denominator which are initially given as in the fraction. So it is 16. So now I can write that equation as 12 by 16x minus 7 by 16x is equal to 30. And that is equal to 16 is common, right? So 12 minus 7 x you can take out is equal to 30. So 12 minus 7 is 5. 5x by 16 is equal to 30. Now 30 upon 1. So do the cross multiplication. If you do cross multiplication, what will you get? So it is equal to 5x is equal to 30 into 16, and from here you will get x is equal to 30 into 16 by 5. So 5 se 30 if you cancel, you will get 6. So 6 into 16, and that is equal to this, you please compute, you will get 96. So 6 into 16 is 96. So C is the correct option. Is that fine? So just look at the problem again. So what they are saying, a tank initially is 3 by 4 full, right? That is what they are saying. And you removed 30 liter of water, and then remaining water is 7 by 16. So assume the capacity of the tank is x. Initially it was 3 by 4x. From this you remove 30 liter of water and remaining water is 7 by 16x. Now x is the capacity. You just solve it. So first you take this to this side, 30 to this side. Here 30 is in subtraction, so this side it becomes in positive sign. And here you have to subtract two fractions. How do we subtract two fractions? You take denominator of the, you take LCM of the denominator. So denominators was 4 and 16. You take LCM by usual rule. You will get 16 as LCM. So you make this denominator equal to 16. 1 is already 16. This 4 you have to make 16. So how will you make 4 as 16? If you multiply 4 by 4. So I have multiplied denominator and numerator by 4. So that fraction becomes the same. So 12 by 16. Now you solve it, you will get 96 as your final answer. So capacity of the tank is 96. Let's look at the next problem. What is the next problem? Again, you have to pay a bit more attention to this. In an election, 35 of the voters voted for candidate 1, candidate A, and rest voted for candidate B. If 15% of the voters who voted for A and 25% of the voters who voted for candidate B were declared invalid, what fraction of the total voters cast valid votes? So just see, you have some total voters. So assume that. Assume X is the total voters, right? So this total voters ka 3 by 5 voted for A. So 3 by 5 of X voted for A, right? Now similarly, rest of them, so 3 by 5 X voted for A, candidate A, and rest all are voted for candidate B. What is mean by rest all? So total are X, no? So X minus 3 by 5 X. These many voted for candidate B. But that is same as, you just take the LCM. So 1 minus 3 by 5 X. So this you can also write it as 1 upon 1 minus 3 by 5. So you have to subtract. You have to take LCM of 1 and 5. So 1 and 5. So one number is already 1. So 5 is the only number which can divide 5. So LCM of 1 and 5 is 5. So you have to make it 5. So if I multiply and divide it by 5, it is 5. So outside you have x minus 3 by 5 x. What will you get? You will get 5 minus 3 upon 5 x, and that is equal to 2 by 5 x. So 2 by 5 x voted for candidate B, right? So 3 by 5x voted for candidate 1, 2 by 5 voted for candidate B. Now, what they are saying, next line is, if 15% of the voters who voted for candidate A and 25% of the voters who voted for candidate B were declared invalid. Now, you look for invalid voters. So, invalid voters. So 3 by 5 were total who voted for 5 A. So 3 by 5 x का 15% into 15 by 100. These are invalid voters who voted for A, plus 2 by 5 voted for B, no? So 2 by 5 x का 25%. 25% means 25 upon 100. These are the invalid voters. Now you have to compute this number. So this is multiplication is pretty simple. You just have to multiply it. So 3 into 15 upon 500 plus 2 into 25 upon 500. Outside you have x. X is common for both. Let me write x over here. So now this is equal to, denominator are the same. So you don't need to take LCM and all. So 3 into 15 is 45 plus 25 into 2 is 50 upon 500 x. These are the invalid one. So it is total, it is 95. So something is not correct. So what they are saying, 15%, it's 25%. Right. So it is 95 upon 500x. I can simplify it further, right? So 5 say I can divide 95 as well as this 500, because answer is also in terms of 100. So if I divide 95 with 5, what will you get? Get 1. So 5, it is 4 and 5 you can take. So it is 9. Done. So you will get 19. So it is 19 upon 100x. These are the invalid voters. But what we want to know, you want to know what fraction of the voters are valid one. So how many of them are valid? So total was x minus invalid one. Invalid, how many invalid are there? 19 by 100 x are invalid. So these are the invalid voters. So valid voters are total minus invalid, and that is equal to, again you can take LCM and see, 81 upon 100. So that is 81 upon 100. These are the valid voters. Okay. Next, a student spends 2 by 5 of his money on books, 3 by 10 of remainder of on food, okay, and left with 520 rupees. How much money did he have initially? So basically let's say student has X money. So let me write that. Assume student has X rupees initially. Okay, this X we have to figure out. So student has X rupees initially. Now student spends two-fifth of his money on books. So how much money he has spent on books? So on books, student spent 2 by 5 of the total money. Total was X. 2 by 5 X rupees. He has spent on books. Now, how much money he has now? So, X was total money. X minus 2 by 5X he spent. So, this is the remainder money, right? Now he is left with this much. So what is this? This is again, you can write it as 1 upon 1 minus 2 by 5. X you can take out. Now LCM of 1 and 5 is 5. So 5 minus 2x, that is 3 by 5x. This much money he still has. Now 3 by 10 of the remainder on food. So on food, student spend 3 by 5x into 3 by 10. This much money he has spent on food, and that you can simplify easily. You are multiplying two fractions. So it is 3 into 3, 5 into 10x, and that is equal to 9 by 50x. Right? Now he is left with 525 rupees. How much money did he have initially? See, he has X money. From this, he spent 2 by 5th on books and 9 by 50 on food. So, how much he has initially? X minus 2 by 5x is equal to 3 by 5x. This is the remainder money, and iska, let me write it again. So student spent 2 by 5 of his money on books, 3 by 10 of the remainder on food, and left with 525. How much money did he have initially? So he spent 3 by 5 on food. So now you can see that. So initially the student has X money, and from this he spent 2 by 5 on books and then 9 by 50 on food, and he is left with 525 rupees now, right? 525 rupees. Now you are interested in calculating how much you are interested in calculating X. So simply what you have to do, you just have to solve this. So now X I can write as X upon 1 minus 2x upon 5 minus 9x upon 50 is equal to 525. You can see that. Okay, let me draw this line again. Got it? So you can see that denominator is 1, 5 and 50. Of course, if you want to solve it, you have to take the LCM. So first of all, you have to figure out what is the LCM of 1, 5 and 50. So LCM of 1, 5 and 50. This you please compute over here 1, 5 and 50. Look for a number which can divide one of them. This 5. 1 is as it is. This becomes 1, this becomes 10. Again, you can take 2, 1, 1 and 5. Again, you can take 5, is 1, 1, 1. You are done. So, LCM is 5 into 2 into 5. And that is equal to 10 into 5 and that is equal to 50. Right? 50 is the LCM. So, the common denominator is 50. You can see that here it is already 50. How will you make 1 into 50? You just multiply numerator and denominator by 50. So it is, you can write it as 50x upon 50, right? Minus, how will you make 5 into 50? Just multiply 5 by 10. So 2 into 10 is 20x upon 50. And it is already in the correct form. So 9x upon 50 is equal to 525. Now solve it. So 50 is common. 50 minus 20 minus 9. Outside you have x is equal to 525. So 50 minus 20 is 30. 30 minus 9 is 21. So you will have 21 upon 50 x is equal to 525. So x is equal to 525 into 50 upon 21 upon 21. So if you solve it, you will get 1250. You simply have to solve it. So you will get 512. So the student initially has 1250 rupees, and after spending on books as well as on food, he is left with 525 rupees. Next problem. A fraction becomes 5 by 4 if 1 is added to both the numerator and denominator. Let's say, let the fraction is P upon Q. Okay, let's say your fraction is P by Q. What they are saying, a fraction becomes 4 by 5 if 1 is added to both numerator and denominator. In this fraction, numerator is P, denominator is Q. What they are saying, if you add 1 to both, it is equal to 4 by 5, right? However, if 5 is subtracted from both the numerator and denominator, the fraction becomes 1 by 5. Let's do that. So if you subtract 5 from numerator and denominator, it becomes 1 by 2. Remember that if you multiply or divide with both number, fraction does not change. But if you add or subtract, then fraction gets changed. Okay, so this you have to remember. So if you do P into 1 or Q into 1, that is equal to P by Q only. But that is, or P into 5 or Q into 5, that is equal to P by Q only. But that is not equal to P plus 5, Q plus 5. And that is not equal to P minus 5, Q minus 5. This you please remember. This is very important. Don't get confused with multiplication and addition and subtraction while you solve fraction problem. Now you do this cross multiplication. If you do cross multiplication, what will you have? So this will give you 5 into P plus 1 is equal to 4 into Q plus 1. And this will give you 2 into P minus 5 is equal to Q minus 5. Just simplify this. So here this becomes 5P plus 5 is equal to 4Q plus 4, right? And this equation becomes 2p minus 10 is equal to q minus 5, right? Now, again, you can simplify this equation and compute the value of q. So, just take this 5 to this side. So, you will have 2p minus 10 plus 5 is equal to q, or 2p minus 5 is equal to q. So now here you have this equation, you have value of q. So substitute the value of q in other equation. So this value you substitute in this equation. What will you get? So 5p plus 5 is equal to 4 times q is equal to 2p minus 5 plus 4. Just solve it for p. 5p plus 5 is equal to 8p minus 20 plus 4. Right? So just take this 5p to this side and these numbers to this side. So you will have plus 5 plus 20 minus 4 is equal to 8p minus 5p. So 5 and 20 is 25 minus 4 is 21 is equal to 8 minus 5 is 3p. So from here you will have p is equal to 21 upon 3, that is equal to 7. So p is equal to 7. Substitute over here. Q is equal to 2 into 7 minus 5. 2 into 7 is 14 minus 5. So that is equal to 9. So fraction is equal to p by q, and p is 7, q is 9. So this is your final answer, 7 by 9. So option A is correct. So what I did, so I just follow what is written over here. What they are saying, a fraction becomes 4 by 5 if 1 is added. So let's say fraction is p by q. I have added 1 in numerator and denominator. It is equal to 4 by 5. I have subtracted 5 from numerator and denominator. It becomes 1 by 2. Now I just follow the steps and I got 7 by 9. Next problem. A can do a piece of work in 10 days. B can do it in 15 days. We have already done problems on work and time. They work together for 4 days. What fraction of the work is left? So, let's see. A can do a piece of work in 10 days. Let's say total work is 1. So, in 1 day, how much work A can do? So, A can do 1 by 10 of the work, right? Because A can do a full work in 10 days. So in 1 day, A can do 1/10 of the work. Similarly, in 1 day, B can do 1 by 15 of the work, of the total work. Now, what they are saying, so if they work together, how much work they can do? So, in 1 day, if A and B working together, in 1 day, A and B together can do 1 by 10 A can do plus 1 by 15 B can do this much work. Again, solve it. So, 1 by 10 plus 1 by 15. Look for the common denominator. Again, you have to take the LCM of 10 and 15. Look for the smallest number which can divide one of them. It is 2. 15 as it is. Now 5 and 15, you start with 5, it is 1, it is 3. Again, now you have to take 3, 1 and 1. So LCM of 10 and 15 is 2 into 5 into 3. That is equal to 10 into 3, and that is equal to 30. 30 is the LCM. So it is 30. How will you make 10 into 30? Multiply and divide by 3. So 3 by 30. Plus how will you make 15 into 30? Multiply and divide by 2. So it is 30. So it is equal to 5 by 30 of the work. So if they are, now you can simplify it. 5, so you can divide 30 in 6. So 1 by 6. So in 4 days, A and B together can do how much work? So in 1 day they are doing 1 by 6. In 4 days they can do 4 by 6. Right? 4 by 6 of the work. So what fraction of work is left? Work total was 1. So 1 by 4 by 6 is left. And that is equal to, again you can take LCM and solve, 6 by 4 upon 6, that is 2 by 6. And 2 by 6 is nothing but 1 by 3. So 1 by 3, A is the correct option. So 1 by 3 of the work is left if A and B work together for 4 days. That's all. So this video was a bit intermediate level. So where we have seen how to solve, how to add 2 or 3 fractions when denominator are not same, and also we have done some language problem. So this type of problem also you can expect in your exam. Solve the problems by yourself after you watch this video. So yeah, see you. Bye.